What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of talking to Massachusetts' own Josh the Terror Turner. Josh, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Glad to have you here, man. Friday night, the mood is right. TGIF, man. Thank God it's Friday.
Right, right. Oh my gosh, it's been a busy week.
So, how have things been there in Massachusetts for you? I mean, I'm out here in California. It's
well,
sketchy. I mean, Los Angeles has pretty much been turned into a ghost town over the last 4 or 5 months.
well, I
But how's
yeah.
it like being over there?
Unfortunately, I'm from Ohio. um, but yeah, I mean, it's getting a little chilly. The weather's definitely toning down. It was nice and hot like last week, but that's Ohio for you. Today you'll be wearing a t-shirt and shorts, and tomorrow you'll wear a bubble coat and long pants. So, I mean, it is what it is. Living in Ohio, majority of my life, it's just kind of you grow accustomed to it. So,
That's
but
tremendous. I mean, what is the state of kind of Massachusetts MMA? Because like again, here in California, I mean, all combat sports. I mean, the only we're hearing tunes of like $40,000 for COVID testing.
mhm.
So and that's in addition to if you're a promoter, that's in addition to booking the venue. That's
Right,
in
right,
addition to paying the fighters. That's in addition to the insurance that you have
right.
to run an event, right? So, I mean, what has been the deal, and even like the gym situation? Because, I mean, in terms of gym life, I mean, pretty much people are training outside.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been doing. So, we got a nice plot of land out here. So I take in my tires and my tractor tires and all the stuff I have here, and I go to work. Um, but I did want to say, Adam, I actually live in Ohio, not Massachusetts. But so I mean, it's been tough. I mean, I haven't fought. I haven't been in the cage in a little bit. Been taking a break, just some stuff going on in life. So, taking a break from it, from the fighting aspect. I'm still training. I'm still staying warm. I'm getting in work as best I can. I mean, where I can, anyways. So,
That's tremendous. That's tremendous. When there's a will, there's a way, right?
100%, 100%.
Now, obviously, I mean, there are easier ways to make a living than getting punched, kicked, and submitted, right?
This is
So,
true.
how
This
did
is
you
true.
become involved in combat sports?
How did I? Well, long story short, I was a bad kid. I fought a lot as a kid. I did a little bit of wrestling, and but other than that, it's I fought a lot as a kid. I always got in trouble. I was, picking fights, and that's just the way it was when I was a kid. And I grew up, and I did a lot of contact sports stuff like that. And I figured, you know what? I don't think I'm that half bad at it, so might as well give it a whirl. And I started training and getting in the cage and mixing up with some of the good guys, and now I'm here.
So, I mean, wrestling, like, who are some of your favorites?
In fighting, oh, like UFC. Let's see. Rich Franklin. He's a big guy out here in Ohio. I mean, guy's from Loveland, so it's he's a big deal. He's one of my faves. George St. Pierre. He's incredible. I mean, he's a gentle guy. He's super loving, and then he gets in the cage and he turns into it. He just That's what I love. I love about George St. Pierre is because he'll go from, one of the nicest guys ever to I'm gonna beat your face in as soon as you step in the cage. So I mean that's one of the best aspects of the whole situation.
That's no, that's tremendous. I mean, for me, pro wrestling was kind of how I got aware of combat sports because let's see, I think it was like Bret Hart versus Randy Savage in on Saturday night's main event. That was like 1987. Not
Mhm.
to age myself, but I was born 85. So, I was 2 years old when I saw, you know, that, right? And
Right, right.
I was like, okay, Macho Man. I mean, even then, and probably a little bit later, I was just like, ah, okay, so I watch cartoons, but I mean, what Macho Man and Bret Hart brought to the table, and this is when Bret was still a part of the Hart Foundation. I was like,
Right.
man, this is cartoons come to life. Like, I
Hmm.
like this. So to me, even in that kind of like infantile state, I was just like, the best stories happen inside of a ring and then later cage. So because of Bret Hart, Randy Savage, when Mike Tyson came about, when Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. came
Right.
about, when Tommy the Hitman Hearns came about,
Oh
I
my
was just
gosh.
like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
they're fighting in a ring like Hart and Savage. I'm in,
Right.
right? So
Right.
regardless
Right.
of
Right.
Muay Thai, like I'm in. Just ring or cage, that's it. And especially when you get down to what the mid '90s, and I mean, think about what we knew about pro wrestling, right? You could have said everything else was like kind of goofy, might be fake, right? Maybe,
Right, right.
right?
That was the
But
whole
any
mishap. Nobody knew what was real.
exactly. But when the Hearts came to the ring, and it's not just the Heart, but anybody that came out of the dungeon in Calgary, right? So we're
Right.
talking both the British Bulldogs, Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy Smith. We're talking about obviously Bret and Owen Hart, right? And
Right.
a litany of other guys that came from the dungeon, out there in Calgary. So I was just like, okay, Bret is champion. Owen is like the high flyer that can do everything that the Bulldogs and Bret can do,
This is
plus the
true.
Japanese and Mexican lucha stuff. So I was like, I'm in. So when Dan Severn comes to the WWF and ragdolls Owen Hart, right? I'm like, what is this? And then we got Jim Ross and going like, he's the ultimate fighting champion. I was like, what is this? It's like UFC. It's like WCW. Is this a different
Right,
type of
right.
wrestling? I need to be a part of this and to
Right.
see again what we thought right in the mid '90s. What tough guys were. Oh, the guy at the end of the bar, in Tank Abbott. The people in Geese and Hoist Gracie. Like think about what we knew. The buff guy, right? And
Right.
when Dan Severn would go in and ragdoll them all and dump them on their head, I was just like, I'm in. I'm in this UFC thing. Like, this is it. I love it. I love it. You know?
Right. Oh no, 100%. But
Yeah, man.
no, I mean honestly, for me, it was more of a personal aspect. I mean, I mean, I was a boxing fan. Your standard boxing. I watched the UFC. It all kind of came together for me. And growing up, I'm like, I'm growing up into the environment where it's all starting. So I'm standing here and I'm wrestling and I'm getting into trouble. I mean, that was the big part for me. I was like, man, I got to get out of this. I got to stop getting in trouble for fighting. So and then I started trying to make a career out of it. Started training. Started working with my management team and my sponsors and stuff. And it's been an interesting road because it's definitely a ride.
Oh,
But
1,000%. Now, I mean, obviously, when you get in from like, a pro wrestling kind of mindset, right? And then you go to maybe a real wrestling room not to say that pro wrestling is fake or anything like that. Harley Race in a wheelchair will tell you different, towards the end
right,
of his life, right? And he
right.
was I mean, that dude used to like knock out dudes when he was 16, like
Oh yeah.
that's the type of dude that Harley Race was, right? So when you get to like maybe an amateur or even like a MMA gym, right?
Right.
And you're like, oh, this is a little bit different than the WWF style that I'm used to. What were your
Right.
kind of whether it be apprehensions or misconceptions?
I mean, it all took me off guard. I mean, the whole, the wrestling, it's just, I don't know. It was different for me. I was just like everybody else. Which one's real, which isn't, you know what I mean? And I'm watching and for a while, the, wrestling, I kind of fell off of that. And I started wrestling myself in high school and stuff like that. But for me, it was just like, you know, I just want to see somebody fight. I just want to see somebody brawl. As a kid, it was cool. Watch these guys get in the ring and tear each other up. It's like, that these guys are doing it legally. But and then I think people talk about what's real and what's fake, but what people don't realize is you got to look at the whole aspect of it, and it's like it's all real, 100%. It's all real. The training, the consistent diets, everything that goes into it. It's all real. You know what I mean? Now the difference between standing in the ring and doing it and not being in the ring is a different. They're two totally different things. But it's one thing I have learned, through my career and in fighting and training and stuff is like I will say, before I had like a slight bit, hate towards professional athletes because I was like, they're getting paid all this money and they're hardly doing anything. But in reality, now that I've started fighting and I'm training and I'm doing all this dieting and I'm running around like a banshee, you know what I mean? And I'm watching these guys and I'm like, now I know why they get paid the big bucks. It's not, I don't wake up one day and go fill out an application to become a fighter. No, I start when I'm born. I'm fighting, I'm training, I'm dieting, and I'm you stretch yourself to lengths that you don't think you can stretch yourself. And I think that's where a lot of it gets misconstrued is the consistent lifestyle. It's not an application. You know what I mean? I can go, I work in construction. I filled an application to get that job. But fighting, that started, the day I could hold my hands up. You know what I mean? I started, working around and playing and training and fighting, and it's been a whole thing. It's consistent. It doesn't start one day; it starts the day, and it's just who you are. It's not a you don't. I wouldn't say you don't choose it, but it's up to you whether you take on that lifestyle. But I will say that it is one of the hardest things I've done yet. Besides being a dad, that's tough. That's tough.
No, for sure. Now, I mean, those early days, right? So, I mean, obviously, you watch pro wrestling as a kid, right? And then, I mean, everybody thinks striking is cool. Like, it
Right,
doesn't
right,
matter
right.
if you are the most like the tippy top in terms of world class strikers in the world, or just like some Joe Blow, basically watching fights, or I mean, even like those what is it, the World Star Hip Hop,
Oh
kind
my
of
gosh.
videos and
Oh
everything
my.
like that,
I
right?
remember when that
Dale
was
Army,
big.
right? So everybody loves a knockout.
Oh,
Um,
everyone does. It's
those
awesome.
early
It's
days, did you
exhilarating.
gravitate more towards like the striking or more the grappling?
For me, well, being 6'2", if I can keep a guy up top, you know what I mean? If I can keep a guy standing up all day long, I want to box you. I want to, tear you down. I want to break you down. But for me, you know what I mean? The biggest aspect for me is because when I started, it was grappling. I started with grappling. And, I try to be all around, freestyle fighter. But for me, like I said, starting out as a grappler, that's I can work with it, but if I had to choose myself, I would definitely stand up with a guy. Most of the guys I'm fighting, they got a little bit of a, they're a little shorter than I am. They got a smaller reach, so I prefer to stand up with you and keep you out of range.
No, 100%. Damn, that's pretty damn cool. That's pretty damn cool. Well,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, here's the thing. I saw your face light up like a bloody Christmas tree when I mentioned those World Star Hip Hop
oh yeah,
videos.
because that's
Like,
what when
I
I
mean,
was
those are
growing up. When I was growing up, middle school, freaking high school, everybody, World Star, that's just what it was. You know what I mean? And everybody's talking about World Star Hip Hop and all this, and I'm like, what is going on? And I was the type of kid that when I'm sitting at home, I'm looking up some fight videos. I'm looking that stuff up, and like you said, everybody loves a good knockout. Everyone loves a good knockout. It's exhilarating because you're watching and you're like, oh, you got put down like a sack of potatoes. It's always enjoyable.
gosh. Like, I mean, so that's what I personally love about combat sports, right? Where, it humbles you. You might think you're a badass or what have you, and then
Right.
you meet somebody, right, and you roll with them or you strike with them, and you're like, oh wait, I don't know what the hell I thought, but it's
Right.
completely different, right? And that's kind of what I kind of think about this kind of people that can't fight but talk up a big game and then just
Right.
get like, I mean,
Overzealous
literally
fighters.
like knocked to oblivion.
100% overzealous fighters, guys that are like, yeah, I do this, I could, you know what I mean, and that's I preach it, to some of the guys because I do work with a couple guys. I'm training them. They're talking about they want to fight and stuff like that, and I'm working with them and stuff. But I think the biggest thing that I could tell people is remain humble. I mean, I can talk a big game, but like my last fight, I lost. I've never been hit that hard in my life. You know what I mean? I came out and I was overzealous, and I'm thinking, I got this in the bag, and that when you before you walk in the ring, you're gonna be nervous, your adrenaline's gonna be going, but I think what a lot of fighters do is in their head they're going, I got this. This is one. When in reality, you have no idea what's gonna happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I know what I came here to do. I know what he came here to do. But at the end of the day, I mess up. I miss a move. I miss a takedown. I don't change the level. You know what I mean? I don't stuff a takedown or I miss a strike. That could be it for me. You know what I mean? And that's the name of the game is you don't know what's going to happen. I know what I'm trained to do. But you know what I mean? I don't know what's going to happen in the moment because at the end of the day, you're not going to know until you're there.
That's yeah. Those are fun. Probably one of my favorite videos of that nature was I can't I don't know the guy's name, but he was this dude who used to go into gyms and just sucker punch people, right? And he would basically go into gyms and he'd be like, oh yeah, like here's this amount of money, blah blah blah, almost like I like Kimbo Slice and those backyard brawls or whatever, but it would be in the gym, right? And before like the bell would ring or the person would yell start, this dude would just haul off on people, right? Up until he meets one Dejon Daniels, and they call him
Oh
in the
my
video.
God.
You know this one, right? You know this one, and
I
they call him maybe
remember.
Mike Tyson. But I mean,
Oh my
you know about
God.
Dejon, like CXF veteran of the cage or whatever. He starts piecing old dude up. Dude walks off, tries to come back, sucker punch him, whatever,
Oh,
and just
oh, I know.
knocks him to a
That's
whole hell. I love that because you need a little bit of humble pie.
oh, absolutely. It's I for me, my last fight, like I said, I was an overzealous fighter. I came in and I was like, I got a big head. I'm going to take this fight, and as soon as the dude kicked me, I realized this is I'm in a dangerous spot. I'm in a dangerous spot. And that's all it takes really. I mean it and I it's being humble is like the biggest aspect of fighting. You know what I mean? You got to stick to yourself. You got to watch your P's and Q's, and you just got to be careful. I mean I can be overzealous all day long, you know what I mean? And even if I'm fighting and I'm winning the fight, I know I'm winning. I've got points on the card. I've got this guy, in a submission, or I got him on the ground. I'm in a full mount, whatever it is. At the end of the day, anything can happen. Anything can happen. You know what I mean? I overextend. He pulls a reverse on me. You know what I mean? There is so many intricate things, and it's like it's math and science. You know what I mean? There is a science to martial arts, and I think, um, me as a kid, watching martial arts, I'm like, well, you're just getting in there and boxing. No, it's not that. There's a specific science to it, and it's crazy. I mean, it is one of the most wildest things I've rode bulls. I've rode bulls, and I'm saying that mixed martial arts is definitely a it's a lifestyle, and it can change at the drop of a hat, a drop of a pin. I mean, I can't preach it. You know what I mean? I can only tell you from experience.
100%. I mean, those make cool stories, bro. I'm just saying,
Oh,
right?
hundred
Right?
percent. Yeah, and I tell people all the time. Yeah, I get whooped. I mean, you know what I mean? I get it is what it is. That's the name of the game. You don't win every fight. You know what I mean? And especially right now, I'm early in my career, so mistakes can be made. You know what I mean? My record and everything become a serious problem until later in my career. And that's kind of where I'm at right now is I'm dipping my toes in the water. I'm training with my management team and they're getting me, we're testing out different diets and we're trying different routines and everything else. And that's kind of where we're at is, trying everything that we possibly can to see where I'm comfortable and then go from there. You know what I mean? You're gonna lose fights, and I tell people that all the time. You're gonna lose. Don't think that you're gonna fight everyone and you're just gonna walk through them because I did that and it didn't end well. And that's just how it is. You know what I mean? I'll never claim to be the best fighter in the cage because I'm, right now in my career, I can say I'm far from that. I've got a lot of work to do. I've got a lot of training to do, and there's a lot of time that's going to go into it, and that's kind of where I'm at.
I mean, that's that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome, right? You
Right,
know. Now, I mean, speaking of, cool stories, right?
right.
Take us through your first fight, right? I mean, obviously,
Oh my
you know,
god.
a, a, a pantheon of hard training sessions, nerves, all that jazz, and then finally, oh, I'm doing the thing that I
Training.
told everybody in town that I'm going to do. Right? I'm going to fight.
Right.
The thing that my parents are like, why are you doing that or whatever. Like
That's it.
you're now you're in it. Like
Right.
explain to me because most people I don't care amateur pro right the fact that you step into the cage the fact that you basically started training right
Right.
that's something that 95% of the world will
Right.
probably never do but for the remaining 5% of you motherfuckers
No.
it's like right
Yeah,
so
right,
I mean
right.
talk to us about your feelings on that first fight.
Son, let me where do I start? Um so I mean my first fight, let's see. I should have taken it. I'm gonna throw it out there now. Should not have taken the fight. So I trained and I worked out and stuff like that growing up. I've always, tried to keep myself in shape. And I tell you what, my first fight, I got the call out in Columbus, or no, Sandusky, Ohio. I went and fought out for the WNFS, and I had talked to one of the matchmakers. I had been talking to him for years. I was 17 years old, asking him where's my first fight. I'm ready to go. Let's do this. And then, after he said, we can't do it until you're 18 years old. Well, I took time off. I stopped training. I kind of stuck to the couch, and then um, after that, some stuff had happened in my life, and I really fell off the chain, and I stopped working out altogether. I became lazy. You know what I mean? Not in life altogether, but when it came to training and keeping myself in shape, I just kind of became lazy and sluggish. And out of nowhere, I get a message on Facebook, and it's the matchmaker. Hey man, your birthday just passed. I got a fight coming up in October. You ready to go? Uh, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. 100%. That sounds like a great idea. Let's get in the cage after I just got off the couch. So, and I had I didn't have anybody to train with. I was weightlifting. That was my training. I was overconfident. Um, nothing against, the matchmakers out there, but there was some miscommunication that the other guy had been coming off of the couch too. Long story short, he was fresh out of the Marines. So he was hot and I was cold. And we came out and I'll tell you, man, I was the whole time up leading up to the fight, I was thinking, oh, I got this. I'm getting in the gym and I'm working out and I'm thinking I feel good. I still feel good where I'm at. And getting closer and closer to the day. And I'll be honest. So at that time and point, I didn't have a license. I didn't have a car. I was low. It was a low point, and I'm getting up to my fight, and I didn't even know if I was going to make the fight. because I didn't have a way out there. Nobody came to it. The only person that showed up, only people that showed up to my fight were my mom and my son's mom. They were the only people that showed up to my fight. So I was out in Sandusky. I was 4 hours away from home. Two people that I know. I don't know anybody out there. This is a home state guy. This guy he's from Sandusky, and I'm coming out fighting a homebody, and I'm not knowing that. I'm just thinking I'm going to get in the cage, I'm going to rough him up, and that's going to be it. Absolutely not. That is not what happened. We came out, and it's real when you're there. When you first show up and you're walking out, and you're like, this is real. We're really here. And we get in the cage, and that bell goes off, and you're ready to go. And I tell you what, he was a strong guy. He's a bigger guy. I mean, he was every bit of, I think he was 5'9", 5'10", and 165, 170, I would say roughly. I think that's what he was. So that's a pretty, 5'9", 5'10". He's got some weight on him. And he eats some power shots. But, we come out, and as soon as we squared off in the center, I let off a good right hook and connected. He shot a takedown on me. I reversed it, and I had a crappy mount. And, I'm throwing blows, and he rolled me again, and then I rolled him back over. And he was going for submissions the whole time, and I seen that, so I was like, well, I need to gain control. So I fought for a full mount, and I tell you what, I was not ready for grappling. I was not ready. I was very cold. And, we came in, and, I threw I threw my strikes, and then I'm on top of him in a mount, and I'm, throwing strikes. I'm throwing heavy hands. Well, I had no balance. I was not balanced at all. So my punches are holding me up. So I'm extending, and I'm kind of pushing myself back up to sit back up. And I threw a strong right, man. Strong right, overextended. He rotated that wrist, slapped me in an arm bar, and that was it. Submitted me.
Woo! I mean, and that's the thing. So, I mean, I kind of sound like a broken record, but like the no matter how many fights that I've been to, no matter how many I've watched on TV, right? My favorite part of every fight is essentially after the bell rings, everybody's high fiving, coaches get together, hug, opponents. Because here's the thing, you might be close with your coach, might be close to your significant other, close to your parents, or what have you. The same thing with the other person on the other side of the cage. But here's the thing: no one else will know what you guys went through than your opponent.
Right.
You put him through hell. He put you through hell, and you guys came out on the other side. And regardless of what the decision may be, what the outcome may be, it's one of those deals where, again, like you guys shared a special moment in front of all to see. Right. So I think stories like that, those are incredible because you gain a new respect for each other.
Oh, well, and see, I had that conversation with somebody the other day. One of my friends, she made a comment. We were talking, and she's like, you get in the ring and you beat people up for fun. I'm like, that's not what it is at all. Don't get me wrong, it's a stress reliever. Sometimes you need to blow off some steam. But in all reality, I will say that there is a fine line of respect in the martial arts industry. And I will say that when it comes to preparing for these fights, you know what I mean? You grow a respect and sort of a bond in all reality for the individual that you're fighting because, I'm studying you. I'm training to fight you. I'm learning everything that I can about you before that fight. You know what I mean? All those moments that lead up to that fight are revolving around you, essentially. You know what I mean? I'm preparing to get in the ring and fight you. So, when you finally step into the cage and you're face to face with the man that you've been studying like a book, you know what I mean? It's real. And, I can hate you to the core, but in all reality, I still have respect for you. because I know you did exactly what I did to get ready for this fight. I know you trained just as hard as me, and that at the end of the day, that's what it's about. You know, you form a respect for everybody. You know, you're surrounded by, especially guys you're fighting. You know, it's just you guys. It's just you guys and the official. You know what I mean? So you guys are the only ones that are in the ring, and you know, it's crazy. It's nuts. I do it, and I'm telling you, it's nuts. Uh, and if you're not willing to take a beating, I would not recommend it.
But those are those memories, those indelible memories that, I mean, regardless of whatever, those are ones that you could tell your grandparent, your grandkids about, your kids
Oh yeah.
about, those are those indelible memories.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got in the cage, and I used to beat the crap out of people, and they used to beat the crap out of me. Yeah. And I will say that I've done a lot of things. I've dibbled and dabbled with a lot of things in my life. I rode bulls, and I've done a lot of different jobs, and I fight martial arts, and that way, when I'm done, you know what I mean. When I reach my bed, I don't have to worry about did I forget anything? Did I not do something in my life that I wish I would have done? And I can look at my kids and I can say, I did all of this. I'm not expecting you to do all this, but what I'm expecting you to do is, if you have something you want to do, I expect you to go for it, and I expect you to chase what you want to do. I mean, I preach to people all the time. The most important thing that people should realize in life is a lot of things are going to come to you in life, but the most important thing that you need to realize is everything that comes to you in life is not always for you. Try it, but don't gas yourself out on one opportunity, because you're going to get 100 more that are going to follow that one opportunity.
No, 1,000%. Uh, now I got it, because I mean we reminisced a bit about that first fight, right? And I know 2020 has been crazy for everyone. It's thrown everyone through a loop, right? Combat
100%.
sports or not, it's just everybody's dealing with things. Whether people that have lost loved ones to it, lost their jobs, all that jazz. I mean, right before we logged on, I found out one of my friends, Julia the Raging Panda Avila, she actually got let go of her 9 to 5 job,
Wow.
but now she's a full time UFC fighter because she doesn't have that job, So,
Right,
but there
right.
are people that haven't landed as softly, right? So, with that
Yeah.
all being said, um, what is the future like? If you were to look into the crystal ball, what does the future look for in Josh Turner? Like, how soon do you want to step back into it? Like, um, what would you do that the next time we see you in a cage or a ring?
Well, the next thing I'm going to do when I step back into a cage is we'll fight. But I gotta say, people ask me all the time, what's, people do ask me that question, what do you see for yourself? You want to do it for the rest of your life? And the answer is, it depends. It really depends. You know what I mean? My career, I will say this: if it wasn't for my management team, I would not be where I am today. The sponsors, and they've just helped me out so much. And I will say that, it has been a crazy ride. But if I had to look into the future, I my goal is to, make a career out of it. Um, but I can't. I don't want to speak for the future, because genuinely I don't know. Shoot, I don't know what I'm gonna eat for breakfast tomorrow. Let alone, what my career is. I know how hard I'm gonna work. You know what I mean? I know how much effort I'm gonna put into it. I know how much effort I've already put into it, and I will say that it's vague, because I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen in 2 years from now. I know I'm going to train. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to push myself to my limits, and I'm going to stretch myself to capacities that I couldn't see fit. But you know, I know what I want, and I know I'm not going to. I'll do whatever I have to get to it. I know what my drive is. I know how hard I'm going to work for things, but at the end of the day, something could happen and I won't be able to fight again. You know what I mean? Anything could happen. So My answer is I'm gonna say I don't know. I'm gonna say that the next time I get in the cage, which hopefully is soon, I would say within the next couple months, 2 or 3 months. That's the goal. I want to get back in the cage. I want to fight again. Um, but that's not up to me. That's up to my manager. Ken, if you're watching, I don't want to step on your toes. Um, but that's up to him. He's going to make the call because at the end of the day, I can tell you, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. But you know, from an outside looking in, they're going to look at me as their fighter, and they're going to go, "Well, are you really ready?" And I just gotta train, diet, and work on myself. And in a couple months from now, we're gonna do an evaluation, see where I'm at, and go from there.
I love it. I love it. And I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait to, obviously with safety, but everything to, return to some semblance of normalcy, but, obviously fighting is not a normal way of life, right? And
Right,
to do such things, you have to have, a, a rigid and soft and stable support system
right.
behind you. So, dude, take as long as you like. I want you to shout out everybody that's helped you along the way, fight or just in life, that have
Oh.
get you to this point.
Well, I want to thank Ken Dronberg, which is, I will say, he's probably been one of the biggest assets with my training. It's my manager. He has helped me tremendously. If anybody is looking to, looking for a management opportunity, or they're looking to, get under someone's wing and really get some serious help, they're tremendous. My nutritionist, everybody that's helped me along the way, it's been a crazy ride. Ken Dronberg with Combat Sports Management. I gotta shout him out. I want to shout out my mom, my dad, all my brothers. God, a bunch of knuckleheads. I want to thank my son's mom because she's, in all reality, if it wasn't for her, I probably would never have stepped into the cage. Um, so I know, to be quite honest, thank my kids. I mean, without them, I don't know what. Without my son, without having my son when I did at my age, Lord knows what I would have been doing at 21 years old at this point. Good Lord, I don't even want to think about it. And then I want to thank just everybody that's been involved in my life. Everybody that's supported me, my fans, and really everyone, because the people that are really involved in my life, they know just about what's going on, and it's been a crazy past few months. It's definitely been tough. Um, I've been dragged through the mud, and I've dealt with a lot lately. And everybody that's been involved, it's been a tremendous support system. I would say, the past few months, my support system has really really increased. And once again, Ken, you're the best manager. You're my only manager, but you've been a huge asset. And I got to thank Irene and Scott Kramer for helping me out with these past couple weeks. They've been a huge asset to my life currently. And I want to shout out my kids. I want to tell my kids that I love them, and all my family that I love you guys. And because currently I'm like an hour and or 2 hours away from all of my family, so it's been pretty tough. I'm kind of stuck up, yeah, Crabs Creek. So but yeah, everybody out there that's watching right now, I love you guys, and appreciate the support, all my fans. I did want to shout this out. So, um, if you're in the Ohio area, the Indiana area, Kentucky, Michigan, I just said it, the state up north, because we don't say that here in Ohio. If you're from the state up north, or anywhere near Ohio, um, my friend Ingrid, they're having a huge party. It's going to be huge. It's kind of a Halloween end of season bash. It's going to be like 300 people there. It's going to be on the property that we're at right now. It's going to be mud wrestling. There's going to be wet t-shirt contest. There's going to be costumes. It's kind of a costume party. Um, it's going to be nuts. And live DJs, the whole shebang. It's a $10 admission fee. 18 and up. If you're under 21, you will be banned because, unfortunately, well, there's legality against underage drinking. Um, But if you guys want to come out, look me up on Facebook, Joshua Turner. You can find my page. It's Joshua the Terror Turner. Hit me up on Instagram. My fight page is Joshua the Terror Turner. Or my personal Instagram is it's gonna be Landon's dash dad 2018. Go ahead and search me up if you guys want to go. Let me know. I'll shoot you a flyer. Everyone's welcome over the age of 18. Please be responsible. Don't do anything stupid. It's a BYOB. But everybody watching, I love you guys. Stay safe. And if you're interested in coming out, shoot me a message and we'll get you the details.
Love it. I love it. And a little birdie told me that there's a certain soiree that's going on not too long from now.
Yeah, October 18th is the
Yes.
party. The party is on October 18th. So yeah, it's gonna be here. We've got like 6 acres of land. And it's gonna be covered. There's gonna be four-wheeling. I forgot to throw that in there. Four-wheeling, dirt biking, mud bogging. I said mud wrestling, wet t-shirt, costumes, live DJs. There will be security, so no funny business. Funny story. I'm head of security. So let's make sure we're being responsible. If you are drinking that night, your keys will be collected at the gate, and locked up in a lockbox. So we've got to cover all P's and Q's. It's a small town, so we got to be careful. You guys want to go ahead and shoot me a message. I'll send you the flyer. And yeah, so that's all the details. October 18th. Put on your calendars. Put on your calendars. It's in Ohio.
Yeah.
It's in Ohio. We're welcoming anyone. So if you're from California, if you're from New York, if you're from Florida, Alabama, New Orleans, Texas, Washington, we don't care. Everyone's welcome. All I have to know is who's coming, how many's coming, and I just have to get a head count, and you've got to contact me for the flyer.
Damn right. Damn right. I love it. Now, for those who haven't jumped on the party that is Josh the Terror Turner, where can they find you on social media, my man?
Instagram. So my personal Instagram is going to be Landon's dad 2018. My fight page is Joshua the Terror Turner. Go on Facebook, look up Joshua the Terror Turner is my Facebook page. The dog just jumped on me. I apologize. Let's see. I don't have a Twitter. I don't do Twitter. I'm working on it. Everybody's asking for a Twitter page. I don't have a Twitter page right now, but I'm working on it. I only have Instagram and a Facebook page. So once again, if you guys are curious, actually my name on here right now, Joshua the Terror Turner, that is going to be the Facebook page. That is the Facebook page. So if you want any information, fights, you want any updates on what's going on with me, jump on that Facebook page, drop a like, post, comment, message me. It doesn't matter. Either myself or my manager will contact you back. But it's going to be crazy, guys. So definitely let me know if you guys want to come out to the party. Hit me up on my social media platforms for the flyers.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And none other than my compatriot over on Voodoo in the Woods, former UFMMA champion, Pius Inilolobo, said this kid is hilarious. You're $1,000,000, Josh. You are.
I can only do what I can, guys. I can only do what I can. So it's been. I try to keep it. I try to keep it enjoyable. I try to bring joy. That's especially right now with everything going on. Laughter and enjoying life. It's been difficult lately because of the whole coronavirus stuff going on. But I always take a second to try to make somebody's day better. I always say if you're not making somebody's day better, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time.
That's it. That's it. Dude, Josh, thank you so much for joining us here at According to Woods, man. Yeah, I hope this gets some followers. You've got a new follower in me, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But like Stephen Tatum says, hey, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to According to Woods. That might
Oh,
be cool.
100%. Yeah, check that guy out. Yeah, that guy. This guy over here. George,
Damn, dude. Well,
this
thank
guy.
you guys for joining us. That's been Josh Turner. I'm Adam Woods, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe to According to Woods both on YouTube and Facebook. And you guys have a great day.